I'm calling the Select Board meeting for Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026 to order at 5:50 p.m. And we'll begin by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda? None that I know of, just one announcement, which I'll read. Other than that, I think we are all set. First, I'd like to make a motion to approve the orders for June 18th, 2026 in the amount of $21,827.74.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'd like to make a motion to approve June 9th, 2026 payroll in the gross amount of $14,314.93 and the net amount of $10,411.93.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then I'd like to move that we approve the minutes for May 11th and for June 8th, 2026.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So I think just the May 11th ones needed to be signed, so I think you, but the other ones were new.
Yeah, okay. We've got them in here to sign. Okay. The year-end projections, right now, Sarah and I chatted about this today. Right now, we are we have a surplus of $48,000. With that, we have one more payroll, which is around $14,000 to go through that. And, we have some questions out to Chris and Jesse. I was just reviewing that we're way over on the public safety, the fire rescue calls. So I picked those up today, and Joy and I are gonna go through those. But, for now, probably, it seems we're definitely gonna end up with a surplus.
So the fire rescue ones, that's when we get charged because of like accidents or fires here.
And we had done we had put together a spreadsheet and for all the ones we had for the first half of the year. And we ended up collecting 2 of them because they were repeats of false alarms, and the people paid. I mean, we sent an invoice and they paid. I looked through the stack today, and a lot of them were car accidents.
Yeah.
One day I know I saw 2 accidents down here. I don't know if we've been billed for those yet, but many of them were car. There's another one for the Econo Lodge, which we'll probably bill for just because someone turned on, heaters in there. But other than that, they mostly just look like, but it's nothing that adds up for that amount.
Yeah.
So I need to pull the whole year's worth and see where we are. And the way we set up the spreadsheet, it's real easy to just put in the address and it'll, they all line up.
Okay.
So we can see if there's repeats.
Okay.
Sarah, there was something, Chris is on. So was there something we can ask Chris about now, or is it something we're going to talk to him about later on?
Yeah, no, it doesn't need to be discussed now. We're just going through each line item of the budget and making sure things are accounted for where they're supposed to be. And if there's any questions, then, Jesse and I are going to email Chris and get answers for different things. For example, we're just asking him to give us an overview of what maintenance happened with each one of the trucks. Just so that you guys are aware. We'll continue to provide you details with where we're at with the budget. Don't get used to the 48,000. I'm sure that it's going to change, but it does look like we will stay in the black. So it's a good projection for going into the next fiscal year.
Okay. For announcements, the July 4th celebration is at 10 a.m. outside the town office. Come celebrate America's 250th birthday and Veterans Dedication. Please arrive early. Additional parking will be available at the town garage on Park Lane. So Chris, we have authorized for Chris to come and unlock the garage. So all of you on the committee should park over there.
Yep.
And
Unlock the gate.
huh?
Unlock the gate.
Yeah, I'm sorry, unlock the gate, and then he's gonna come up. You'd ask for him to be present for.
Yeah, we're hoping maybe even a flashing yellow light with one of the trucks would just draw a little attention to slow down traffic.
I don't think we can do that on a highway. Can we, Sarah, if you had the yellow lights on the truck?
I'm not sure. Actually, Chris would be the one that would know that more than I would. So we'll follow up with Chris. If he's listening, he can jump on, but he really anticipated being later on in the agenda. So we'll take a look at that. Yeah. If he knows that he can do that on Route 4 or quickly be able to talk to Brian Sanderson at District 3, then we'll have him follow up with that.
Because he is planning on being here that day.
Okay.
And then we'll get in later on in the agenda on that. The other announcement is we're awarded a Class 2 roadway grant for $200,000 for Notch Road, which, yeah,
Great,
some of you, that's more than others.
that's great.
Yeah,
Because that was on the list last year too, with all because we didn't get the FEMA money, right? So now, and then there's some culverts and stuff that they're gonna do.
yeah, I think all that funding's there. And then, so we could probably have Chris do a quick overview of the whole project, once he pops on. So next is public comment. I just gotta make sure I got everything. 250. Okay. Alrighty. Anybody on public comment? Carol?
Have you set the timer yet, Megan?
I'm doing that right now. Go ahead.
So I would like to know specifically how much money was allocated to the town attorney, SBNF attorneys for environmental case 26 CNV 00053 from the town of Mendon. I want the specific amount because you have not notified the public how much money you're spending on this case through your attorneys from the town. You are obligated to do that.
To try to get $15.
And also, Sarah Tully, you have not updated me on the culvert situation at Terra Lane. That's damaging my property and has been for years. You will not come in contact with me. You will not answer my emails regarding this situation. Chris Baird has not answered my emails regarding this situation, and I want an update immediately. Sarah
It's
Tully.
flooding my property as we speak. The water's running through the middle of it right now. Why don't you do something about it?
And you're smiling, Megan. You think it's funny, don't you? You think it's funny.
She won't soon. That's for sure. You actually fiscally spent money for a $15 permit that doesn't exist. You probably spent 10 grand on an attorney to try to get $15. Is that fiscally responsible? When your husband's stealing from our town?
Brian, you have not been called.
Oh, okay.
Carol is speaking.
Okay.
Carol, do you have anything else?
No, I think you're all awful people. And Sarah Buxton, you don't even own property in this town. It's disgusting.
She
Okay.
got,
Are you all set, Carol?
Oh yeah, you can listen to my husband now.
Okay. I'm gonna reset the timer.
I'll stop, man. Yeah, when are we gonna do something about your husband with the fake permits, putting money in his pocket? Seth, you got a permit for $100. How'd you do that? How'd you throw away my appeal? You know that was violating my civil rights. How do we have a board actually that makes false claims? He pocketed $50 from another permit, made up his own permit requirement. There's no such thing as a home occupation permit, correct? No, it's just a zoning permit. It's a $15 fee. It's not appealable, but your husband can't even fucking read. That's how bad it is. None of you can. It's pretty bad. Why don't you just follow the rules? Just like tonight, open meeting law. That door's supposed to be open. You three can't be in here by yourselves without it being recorded. And you were in here, the door was locked. That's a clear violation. Why don't you just follow some rules? What are you gonna do, Sarah Buxton?
Get that smile off your face, Sarah.
Hold on, they're him and Greg, when they're stealing from our town.
You are so disgusting. You make me sick.
2 minutes.
Oh, I'm asking, and you guys, somebody gonna do something about that? You're a thief, you're a liar, and so is your husband. I'm leaving, so. Well, hey, I'm leaving when I'm home.
I'm leaving right now.
Yeah. Don't put your hands on me.
Okay. Anybody else for public comment? Okay. So we have 2 applications for our economic development grants to review. I've had a chance to review both of them. And at this point, let's start with I'm just trying to see. So here's the Carol and Brian's Gates applied for a grant to install electrical service to the property. When I look at the criteria for these grants, it's the property is located with the town of Mendon, yes. Proposed work addresses the eligibility purpose. Repair, replacement of a blighted property, creation of long-term housing unit, or if the project creates housing, the unit will be used just for long-term occupancy and will not be used for short-term rental. And my feeling is if they have a approved zoned project on their property, this would be a really legitimate application for the grant. But at this point, it's not adding any, I just don't think it meets the criteria.
There's no indication there's any long-term housing unit.
Right, but if something down the road, this would be if they had a plan submitted to the town
To
build something.
to build a long-term housing unit.
Yeah. So, the other one was from the Dolda Delis, and they submitted, they're building a long-term housing unit to be owner occupied, to basically help finance the completion of the long-term housing unit. I went up and looked at the unit, it's almost done. He's looking really, I think, to complete the siding. If you look at this picture, I kind of feel like, I guess to help people complete projects would be a good expenditure of this fund.
Yeah, so long as we're increasing housing stock or remedying the blighted properties, those are the 2 goals.
What do you think, so?
Yeah, it's definitely housing, it's long-term housing.
Yeah, and I think, we have people building in town and anything we can do to,
Yeah, it's increasing our grand list. At the end of the day, we put 5,000 toward one of these, and if the value goes up,
Yeah.
$20,000, $30,000, $40,000, that's, you know, over time, that's worth it for the town.
Yeah.
Um,
I can't, Sarah, Tully, is there a dollar amount he applied for, or did he just apply for the $5,000 just to complete his project? I think?
Yeah, that's correct. So looking at our application, because these are our first two applications in user form, it would be helpful for the select board to have a little bit more cost detail
Yeah,
regarding the funds. Yeah.
Yeah, what we're paying for exactly.
Yeah, we can elaborate that on the form, still keeping it very simple and keeping the three eligible projects, which is the blight, you know, increasing the blighted properties, increasing housing units, and commercial development in the village and commercial zone. So
I don't think that's one of them, is it? I think the commercial didn't make it in there.
well, it wasn't on the original draft, which Carol and Brian had used the original form that I think was only posted for just a few days before the final draft was posted on the website, which includes obviously economic development in the commercial and village zones that allow for commercial development.
Yeah. And so I know when he called Jesse, I happened to be in the office, Deli, about this. He was talking about siding. So I think we should just, and we're reimbursing. So I think we should just ask him for more detail on the siding and the charges for that and get an invoice that we can reimburse from.
It seems those are the pictures that
Yeah.
it's spots that are just where the siding is missing.
Yeah. And he had said siding to Jesse, so we'll, one of us, probably have Jesse get back to him and ask him for, you know, financial invoice to show that he has paid it, and then we'll reimburse him. Does that sound?
Yeah, I think we need to maybe clean up the application though, so it's a little clearer, because it says the work described has not started prior to select board review and approval. Maybe we don't need that. Or maybe we do.
Right, no, yeah, because he has
Yeah,
yeah,
so then, but then we have like, if they need reimbursement. So it reads both ways, where
right.
do you need approval, then spend it, then get reimbursed, or can you do it and get reimbursed?
Do you see where that is, Sarah, the first one?
I do, and because this rollout was in the middle of people's opportunity to apply for these funds, I think you could be a little bit lenient in the wording right now. But the board should decide, based on that wording, whether the eligible expenses are from what the siding is unfinished at this point for him to complete, and whether that would meet the $5,000 threshold, or whether you're approving up to the $5,000 limit that would also reimburse them for siding that might already be installed.
I'm thinking that probably is a good practice, just because we don't want people to have completed a project just like recently and then come back and be like, oh, well, I can get money from the town.
Right. That's what.
Have people, have the work not be started yet.
Yeah, so this one, and so I think we get, and I think he understood that. I think Jesse said that to him. It has to be stuff that hasn't happened yet. So I think we just get back to him and say, to finish what he sent us the pictures of, to, you know, get an invoice for that siding for reimbursement.
And maybe not so much necessarily this application or this project, but if that was, say, $10,000 to complete that, and we reimburse $5, but he didn't have, it has to be completed.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes,
That whole thing needs to be done, And finish.
before we
Or
reimburse.
it was reimbursed.
Yeah. Can
So,
we give some sort of like a promise here? Maybe it's just the motion is our promise, some kind of instrument where he can rely on that.
and I don't even think we have to do a motion for something like this, do we?
I think we should take an action to approve and formally, because it's, appropriating funds, so I think we should move to approve up and say whatever the amount is. And so do you want me to make a motion?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I move that we approve up to $5,000 to be reimbursed to John Doles and Dally for unfinished but anticipated work to complete the long-term housing unit on his property.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye. And then I think what we said with the gates is that we're not approving it. I don't know that we need to move to deny it, but I think that, if we could deem it, non-responsive, and that way if they wanted to submit something that is responsive to the criteria, that they could do that.
Yeah.
So that's not really saying it's denied, but it's deemed non-responsive to the criteria, like incomplete.
Okay.
And that way, if they want to go back, I know they were the first one to submit something. So having seen what we just discussed now and whatnot, that may be.
And they may have plans for that property.
They may have plans, yep.
Would be
Yep.
either commercial or residential. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so do you want to,
Yeah, so I'll move that we deem, the Gates application, incomplete, or non-responsive, and, expressly permit resubmission of a complete or responsive application at a later date.
all right, you got it?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And this is a work in progress, so.
Yeah.
Our July 4th celebration.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah, did you see, I know you don't have a cell phone, so you didn't see the text went out.
Yeah.
I heard it went out though.
Yeah,
So yes, and
I got it.
Jesse's been very responsive. There was something in the little insert in the Run Herald. With all the other towns that agreed, we're listed there on July 4th.
Yeah, and the sign up here.
The sign and the sandwich board is out, so, it's gonna be pretty busy here next week. That's when all the final work prepping the big boulder will be done, by Bruce Peacock. We anticipate on Friday the 3rd to have a work party there. There's some final sprucing up of the bushes and all that, and that's when he will, having done all this dry fitting for 8 holes, and he has to drill in the boulder, that's when he'll insert the plaque with epoxy, and then that's it. And then it'll be covered with a large white tarp to be unveiled the following day. So you'll see a bunch of work back and forth up there, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week to get ready for it. We hope to be pretty well prepped. We're gonna do our best on that morning for traffic control. We'll talk to Chris about maybe borrowing one of their vests and have somebody up here to direct traffic and try to squeeze everybody in as much as possible. I'm not sure it's worth hassling trying to eliminate the
Park and ride.
park and ride for about 1 hour sort of thing.
Yeah,
We'll just work around it and squeeze cars as best we can, and then we get to a certain point and say, okay, down to the garage, and there'll be somebody waiting to shuttle people back up.
great.
And we won't start on time because of all that, right? But the whole ceremony is 30, 40 minutes. Kids reading their poems, and there's not gonna be any recorded or played music. Everybody's gonna sing along for various parts of the program. That's a community effort to do that. We received a proclamation from the Adjutant General, General Harder, commending the town for recognizing veterans. We'll be reading that. We're still waiting on something for Governor Scott, but Senator Collmore is pushing buttons on our behalf to make sure we get something to read from the governor as well. it'll start out, we're gonna try really hard to marry the anniversary of the Declaration, the birthday of the country, and honoring veterans, and try to make it a smooth, kind of unified theme. We're still trying, I have to reach Spain Beatty. We're hoping to get him as a veteran to raise the new flag. We have another veteran, Larry Golden Town, who's going to be part of the unveiling of the actual plaque. So I have just been unable to connect with Spain to confirm his availability. I'll maybe work through Chris to.
Yeah, I mean, we can't certainly schedule him because it's a holiday.
Absolutely. So I think we're in pretty good shape. We're a little concerned about the traffic. We'd love it to be a problem. That would mean a bigger crowd, right? But we hope we get exactly 26 cars.
Well, we can get quite a few cars down in the garage.
Yeah, and we'll just have to, people go down, there'll be somebody wearing an orange vest to put you in somebody's car to drive you back up. So you have to cross the.
Maybe Chris could put him in a big truck.
I don't think you want to go there.
Well, we will be out of town. I'm sorry to say we will be missing it, but,
Yeah, we're not zooming this meeting. One thing we would like the council permission, we're gonna have a program with the sequence and also you saw all over town, the lawn signs have been put up.
Yeah.
As well as posted various places at businesses and other sign posts around town. We will clear all that out immediately following. I think we'll probably clear it out on the 4th because we're 4th of July mode. We'll go around and pick up all the lawn signs and do that. We would like permission to use the town copier to print about 50 of the programs because it's also going to include on the flip side the lyrics to the Star Spangled Banner just in case, so forth. So if we could have permission to have Jesse run off 50 of those. And then there's just a green issue separately.
yep, and that's the next is the naming of the old town hall green. I like that name. We discussed that last week. I know, yeah, you were here, but you were on. Right. We talked about that last week. So do we need to make a motion for that? Call it that? Sarah, do we have to make a motion for that?
I would say yes, just to formally name a town property.
Okay, well, I'd like to make a motion that we name the old town hall green at the end of our driveway here.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
It looks great.
Yeah,
It's going to look even better with more color and this plaque really pops. They all fade with time, right?
Yeah.
So it'll take some attention and there'll be some gardening required and we'll take responsibility for lowering the flag whenever it's appropriate. You know, half-mast, it would be office staff responsibility with that, we'll take care of that. So we think it'll pop and I think calling it the green is good timing to recognize what everybody, you all contributed ton of money to it.
It looks great. It's come a long way since it was the building down there.
Falling over building.
it was a pulling of the building.
There was some very scientific attachment to it. Thank you very much. If you'll speak that on the time family.
Great. All right, you're all set?
Thanks very much.
Chris
See the rest
will-
of you on the 4th.
Yeah, and you and Chris can, made a fourth.
And you have to go up and see Justin's flowers.
Around,
That John.
I saw you up there working on it.
yeah.
He made a little path and he planted red, white, and blue flowers.
Oh,
on a-
fantastic.
Where?
Veterans Highway plaque up on.
Oh, really?
Old Turnpike.
Oh, good, I'll go look.
That's all,
Yeah.
I
Justin.
love a flower.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Okay.
Megan, I have a point of order. I have Carol that had raised her hand potentially during the conversation about her application. And
Oh,
so
okay.
she is requesting to speak.
Okay, I didn't see, I saw her face come on, but I didn't see her hand go up and then her face went away, so. Okay,
So she can unmute at this point if she would like to speak.
So I have a couple of points to make about
Okay.
property getting, we will resubmit the grant application We believe that the grant application is for a property that has no buildings on it. And what you're giving out to the other applicant is for a building that's already began and already almost done. So that's not really applicable to the grant. It's for a blighted property, which we have on 100 Terra Lane. We have a blighted property that's being destroyed by the town. We're looking to build on it, and we have been since 2024, and there are records of that in the Mendon town office. We're not allowed to do it since we don't have a principal building, and we're looking to build a principal building. So that's what the grant, that's what we will resubmit to the town, and we'll be looking for all the funds that you're giving to people that already have a building there.
So Carol, once
I
you
would also like to say, do not interrupt me, Megan. I would also like to say that the comments from Fred Bagley are absolutely disgusting, since his past writings in the Rutland Herald, as well as other commentaries, present him as someone who wants to secede Vermont from the United States of America. So him condoning the 250 is just absolutely hilarious. What a joke.
Okay, so Carol, that's not applicable to this part of the meeting, so, thank you. All right. So the next thing on the agenda is the maintenance contract for the Canon printer. That comes out of the preservation fund for $2,059. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve that expense, the expense of $2,059.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. The recreation funds, Sarah?
Yeah, I just wanted to, at the last meeting, we made a motion to spend the remaining balance of the recreation program funds on the August event. Since then, there was a need to purchase the wood chips for the playground. So those were ordered and delivered. We weren't sure if we could get them delivered in this fiscal year, but they were. So in talking to Jessie, she would like to have that motion rescinded so that we can spend the recreation money on the wood chips, and then the money for the August would either come out of next year's budget or it could come out of the reserve fund.
Yeah, for that, the August event, which will be in the next fiscal year.
In the next fiscal year, yeah.
So we're gonna make a motion to rescind the motion from last meeting for, what was the amount?
$1,500.
For $1,500, and move that we approve for buying the wood chips that have been delivered and paid for out of this. And do you know how much that was?
It's just over $1,400. So it didn't reach the 15, but it's right up there.
Okay.
So paying for it up to $1,500
Yeah.
this year's fund.
And instead of the August program is what we approved it for, we're approving it, we're changing that and approving it for the wood chips.
For next,
For this year, and then next year's funds will spend on the event itself. There are few expenses for the event, not many. Okay, did that motion work, Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Okay,
second that.
okay, all in favor?
aye.
Aye. So, they were able to get those over here from New Hampshire and put down, so is
Yes.
that process done?
Yeah, and so no, they were just delivered, I believe, yesterday or today. So
Oh, wow.
those wood chips will go under the swing set area, which was a recommendation from our insurance company to expand the mulch area under the swing set. So those will be good projects done, and then there will be extras that will be stored down at the rec field for future replenishment under the play structures.
So that's great. That's gonna look nice for the event in August, that'll be
It
great.
will, yeah, it will.
Okay, the Rutland County Sheriff contract, how much percentage-wise, did it go up this time? This year, Sarah?
I don't have the percentage off the top of my head, but the rate per hour is on the contract at 58 and change.
68? That's 58
No,
and change?
58. Yep. So that's in the orders for you to sign.
Oh, okay, I have it open.
No.
I have
Yep,
it
in the
open.
orders folder. And let me just pull out that amount. I can look that up. It'll just take me a second.
Just while we were sitting here, we should have been looking through. That's the grant. Here it is. Found it. All righty. Sheriff's contracts, $58.96 per hour, capped at $98,109, inclusive of deputy cruiser costs and ACO costs. The department reserves the right to renegotiate cruiser costs if fuel increases to more than $3.50 per gallon. Well, right now it is more than $3.50 per gallon. Maybe
Yeah,
not for
They haven't implemented that, but
Yeah, probably they don't have to pay the tax on theirs. I would imagine they're tax-free on their gas, so it's probably less expensive. Okay, so I'm
So
gonna
that-
sign this.
Megan, that was about a 4.5% increase.
Okay. Well, as things are going these days. All right, well, we will sign this. We will go ahead and sign this before we leave. So do we need to make a motion about it or just sign it?
You can move to enter a contract with Rutland County Sheriff for the fiscal year 27.
Renew our contract with the Rutland County Sheriff's Department for the next fiscal year.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we are going to move into executive session, so I read this. Do I read this part that's on here?
Yes.
Oh, do you want me to do the specific finding first?
Yes.
It's a two-part one. So I find that premature public knowledge would place the select board at substantial disadvantage. Sarah, this is the finding about personnel matter?
Correct.
Okay, well, place the select board at a substantial disadvantage, so I move that we make that finding.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye. And then the second part is I'll move to enter executive session under 1 VSA 313 to discuss the appointment or evaluation of a public officer.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye. And then we should probably name that coming into executive session with us will be Sarah Tully and Chris Baird.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so no action was taken during the executive session except we moved to accept the salary structure as revised for fiscal year 2027, which we will give to the staff to make the salary changes effective July 1st.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm gonna move to adjourn the select board meeting at 7:25.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.